Hi guys, this is Alan. Um, again, doing a thing about targeted individuals. If you are new to the program, as far as the targeted individual program, you're going to be going through a lot of different thoughts that might not be normal, or you're going to wonder how normal they are. Because with the TI program, a lot of it is based on fake. It's going to sound strange, but fake thoughts. It's like synthetic thoughts that don't feel normal to you. What they have is that they have a technology now where wirelessly from the fusion center in the big cities, they can they can actually take wave uh, wave frequencies, um, electrical wave frequencies, wireless technology, and they can take these frequencies and piggyback those frequencies off of your natural frequencies. So if you have a normal thought pattern of whatever you normally think about, they can start mimicking um, thoughts. And normally these thoughts are negative thoughts. They are negative and like you're not this, you're terrible at this. It's all negative to cut you down, not to build you up. They're negative thoughts. And these wave patterns will piggyback off of your normal thought patterns, and it's to always to tear a person down and make them question or doubt their normal reality. um, I know for myself, a lot of the questions, or not questions, a lot of the thoughts they will at the beginning, it was always the lady saying, he knows, he knows, he knows. Or even now it's like, oh, he doesn't know. So whatever you think you know, they're going to try to throw doubt into that pattern of thinking. It's like he knows, he knows, he knows. And then it could be, oh, he doesn't know. It's to try to make you take you off your game and make you question what part do you know, what part don't you know. So you're going to hear a lot of that. He knows this, or she knows, she knows. And when you're going through this, you're going to hear a lot of, or at least yourself, you're going to think, am I the only one going through this? Is this a joke? Because something weird's going on. Am I the only one? Don't feel bad. Don't feel if it's sophistic or like, how dare you think you're the only one? Like they're going to spend all this money on you. Well, you're just going to have those thoughts. You're going to like, why would somebody do this? Because they literally are experimenting on you. They're experimenting. It's warm in here. They're they're taking all this time and money to experiment. They're taking all this time and money to experiment and to see how far you'll go in this program. And they will, it's like, the first thought I know for me, it's like, are they just playing a joke? Are people just playing some weird joke on me? And am I the only one going through it? And it took me a good year and a half of looking, and it's like finding out, oh no, there's other people, thousands of other people going through this. And throughout the world, throughout the United States, not just the United States, but actually throughout the world that are going through this right now. And so, no, don't worry, you're not the only one. You're still going to have a wonder, like, are they playing a joke? Well, they're going to think it's funny, but it's not a joke. You're going through some kind of a program that the government started, and it's called targeted individuals. And the government got into this program as a form of torture and out of curiosity to see what they can get away with. How long will it take? How many years can they do this? How much money and swing and power do they have to influence people, especially in negative ways? And in this case, in the targeted individual, it's normally to see how much negative thinking can a person go through until they either get thrown into a psychiatric insane asylum or even just to kill themselves. They'll get people to try to actually, that's the whole purpose. Once they do, Uh, the people, law enforcement or city hall, they have a celebration. They pop bottles, as Sherry would say. They have a celebration because, and then they get the money, I guess, because their thing worked, their program worked. And I don't care if it's a big city or a little town. Where normally they're very, if they're the little towns are very pro-life, conservative values, religion. But you'll be surprised. I come from a town called Dallas, Oregon, near Salem, and you wouldn't find a more um, religious, conservative, evangelical, very proud of its Mennonite, conservative, pro-life stance. I mean, they allow liberals to live there, and they don't get beaten up or nothing like that. They're not, they're not intolerant of people normally, but at least not in the open. But then suddenly, this pro-life town, very proud of its pro-life evangelical roots, suddenly, because of this targeted individual program, because of the money and the fun that they think they're going to have by torturing somebody, um, suddenly this town that's very proud of it, um, is willing to throw it all away, um, and goes from pro-life to pro-suicide, because if they can get rid of you, then they get a bunch of money and they have something to joke about. So you throw that at them and let people realize that, because if that gets out, that these pro-lifers who are so proud of their pro-life religious stance suddenly for money will throw all their convictions away and will help the evil government that they normally complain about and like to complain about when it comes to Fox News or CNN complaining about the government, that they themselves are now part of that very system, uh, trying to get otherwise good people to destroy their lives and kill themselves, only so they can make a bunch of money. So every time they do that, just realize they don't take their beliefs very seriously, obviously. If they can just, at the smallest notion of some extra cash, that they'll do that, and they'll get all their other pro life friends to do it. So, anyway, some of the thoughts that you might have is, am I the only one? First of all, is this a joke? Why are they doing this? Am I the only one? And they're going to try to get you angry, which you're going to get angry. It makes sense to be angry when suddenly you've got a bunch of people who are treating you shitty, and you're wondering, well, what did I do? Well, you didn't do anything. It's not so much, I don't think, what you did as what you have. If it is an issue of implants, and what they're doing is they're trying to cover up the fact that they have implanted, as crazy as that sounds when you hear the word implants, and um, they're trying to cover something up. They don't want you around having actual implants. Um, if you die and the coroner doesn't say anything, then there goes the evidence. You get buried with the evidence, the implants. You get buried with it. So how are they going to prove it if you're gone and buried? And what are they, So while we're alive, we have to find some people that'll be honest and will actually uh, do some work for us. We have some people, Barry Trower, Robert Duncan, some of the scientists that worked on this technology. Um, but so there is some scientists and doctors and some people that are being persuaded out of conscience or just because they're whistleblowers. Um, I think both Snowden and Manning, when they came out against the NSA, Benny, Drake, Weeby, Diane Rourke, these were people that did come out against the NSA. And then Edward Snowden, in his interview with Brian Hansen, Brian Hansen? No, Brian Williams, was saying that Edward Snowden was saying that the NSA now has the technology to look when you're typing on the computer. They can now look at what you're typing, and when you make a mistake, go back, and it can actually look at your neural processes when you make a mistake. And we with V2K and remote neural monitoring, we know this is true because we can actually hear the voices when we're quiet. They are saying, we can hear them actually say out loud what we are thinking. They are saying out loud, we are keeping quiet, we're just having a thought, and they're putting it out there. It's like it's used as a form of blackmail too. Any thought or memory that you have, any memory even, they can use that as a form of blackmail because of something that you kept quiet for 20 or 30 years. um, they can now look in your memory, any thought that you have, a memory of something, they can now use it against you as a form of blackmail because now they got this on you. So it's a new type of lie detector test that they're trying to keep quiet about. Um, they're not going to admit it happens, but we know it's there because it's just they're not coming out in the open with it. So, new type of lie detector. They can use it as blackmail, and it does make you wonder how much of today's politics is just a form of blackmail, getting people to say or go along with something. If not, so and so is going to say this about you. But the thing is, it's funny when you get part of this program. Um, you are instantly like, what did I do? What, you try to find guilt. You try to find, what did I do? It's to make you feel like shit. Maybe, well, I looked at, I smoked marijuana or something 10 years ago. Or I looked at a Playboy. Oh, if you're raised religious, you're made to feel guilt about just about anything. I said a cuss word when I stubbed my toe. You know, God's looking at your life screen and everything that happens. God and Jesus is like the NSA in this sense. They're looking at your whole life, everything that you've ever done. They'll have to give an account of every thought, every word that you've ever had. And Jesus is now going to use the NSA to help him do it, the day of judgment or something, some wild theory like that. Anyway, that's what's going on. They're trying to use this form of blackmail against you to try to make you feel crappy. Since when does the government ever try to make you feel good? Except when they're wanting your vote, of course. Conservative or liberal, doesn't matter. Um, anyway, this is the thing that they're up to now. If you look at the government website, the White House, um, 2011, Barack Obama, 2011, 2012, targeted individual symposium on at the White House. And this has been going on. It was a big enough thing, enough people complaining that the White House itself said, oh shit, we need to at least look like we're doing something about it. We're going to take this serious. So not just once, but twice. That's online. You can find it. Um, where people, literally 300 people wanted to get out. They only had 45 minutes. Yeah, there's my thing.